made up by people, from a long time ago, creating reference ranges about people who aren't even you.
And isn't the MRI tons of radiation too?
MRI is no radiation, so that's fine. That's a CAT scan, so it's a magnetic. So
Is
MRI is safe.
It's safe.
Totally safe. But I know the business model. It's fear.
Okay.
We're going to drive fear to then likely come behind it and give you a product to take or several products based on the fear. And then you've hooked people.
So how are people supposed to then navigate that? Like, how are they supposed to know? Because here, and again, I get a lot of pushback for this. I say sometimes a degree doesn't necessarily mean that that's the person that you should meet. Like, like I can go and get all sorts of degrees, but that doesn't mean that I should be the best person. But you know what I mean? Like, I think with what we do, I feel you care and there's a real personal touch, but sometimes like, I think we lose a lot of that, a bit of this in this field. And then, people are on these things and they don't know who to listen to or not listen to, right? Because you have somebody with a degree saying you have a certain thing.
So the person they should be listening to is themselves, right? And so that's why, right? That's why it's really important to help empower people and not disempower people. And the whole conventional medical, establishment is about disempowering people. It's about taking away their power and saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you eat or drink, water-wise. It doesn't matter. We're not going to tell you to go out in the sun and get, early morning sun rise and get light on your skin and your eyes. It doesn't matter about sleep. What matters is that you follow my plan, which is taking not just one, but multiple medicines. And if those medicines don't work, we'll edit them. And if you get side effects, we'll give you more medicines because that's the only way to do it. And that fear is so powerful for people. And no wonder people are more disease, more early death over and over and over, and it's just getting higher and higher exponentially. And it's because people feel disempowered. And so the person they need to listen to is themselves. And the only way to know, and I'm a huge fan of, educating oneself and listening to people talk about studies and, relaying that information in an articulate way. But the only way you're going to know is you got to get off the sideline, you got to get in the game, and you got to try things, right? And if you don't try things, then how will you ever know? And I don't like this whole arena where you have to ask permission so much if we can try something. No one is sovereign over you except yourself. But we've been told that you have to ask permission to do things.
I would like to know when you're working with a patient for weight loss and they start losing weight, what you feel about the skin. Because I think that's not talked about enough.
Yeah, there's definitely facial, fat wasting for sure. So we go in with biostimulators, we add filler, things like that. But, you can't lose weight without some of it coming from the face. I just don't think that's realistic. So we see a lot of that. We see a lot of hair loss. But overall, I think people really like it. We do a lot more body contouring now because people have lost the weight and now they want to tone up. So we do, muscle strengthening, toning, firming type treatments.
What's like a healthy percentage if you're going to start losing weight in the, say you have a patient that's coming to you for their face and they're losing weight. Do you say like slow down or speed? Like, how do you like stop that kind of,
we try not to do it too quick.
2 pounds a week or less is reasonable for most people.
2 pounds a week or less.
Yeah. If you're losing faster than that, it's going to catch up with you. And then the people come off or change whatever they're doing for weight loss. And those people tend to rebound.
Do you see any collagen loss?
That's hard to gauge, sure. But if you think of youth and females, it's facial fat. So that really can go sideways pretty quick. When you look at a youthful female, it's always the fat.
But interesting you brought up collagen, right? Like collagen is the name of the game and collagen supplements. So, I'm kind of down a rabbit hole with this and just learned this recently. So collagen is the most abundant, protein in the body, like 30% or more is collagen. And collagen, obviously, for the skin, for structural issues, all over the body. And collagen needs a type of molecule called sulfate. And sulfate is just eaten up and taken away by Roundup, the herbicide.
Oh, great.
And this is, again, and the data is very clear on this. But no one's talking about this, right?
Doesn't Roundup cause cancer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it causes a lot of problems, maybe autism.
So are they taking the sulfate that's been affected by the Roundup and putting it in the collagen?
They don't know to. People don't talk about it, right? And so to make healthy collagen, you need some couple key things. You need sunlight, right, to help. You need sulfates, which you can get from like cruciferous vegetables and different, polyphenols in the diet, which are like the pigments from fruits and vegetables. And it's not necessarily challenging. You need certain supplements, like, interestingly, we're talking about COVID, N-acetylcysteine is a molecule, an amino acid form that helps you make more sulfates.
Just NAC, like what?
Yeah, NAC. Yeah. Guess what was banned?
Didn't they try to ban it? Oh, they did try to ban it, didn't
Guess what was banned during COVID? You couldn't get NAC.
You know what else you couldn't get?
Up now?
It's back.
It's back. Yeah, I remember that.
You couldn't find silver anywhere on the internet. All of a sudden, it's sold out.
Well, NAC it went away.
I'm on this big rant where, like, the gym bros, like because I guess I'm a gym bro. Like, they know, like, they've been on to NAC long time. Creatines, collagens, proteins, like a lot of, and it's funny because I think, like, obviously some of that community goes way too far, maybe turns average people off because they just become these big mongoloids. But I've learned, even from a young age, a lot of these kind of supplements from that community because they're so focused on their health and
I learned about testosterone, 2 decades ago from a naturopathic doctor, but he was a gym rat, and they tested. This is in the 70s, and that's how we figured it out. It's great. But back to the glyphosate, is we now can do testing and see if people are being affected. What's becoming very prevalent is mold toxicity. Right? And you're probably hearing about mold toxicity. It's all tied together, right? Mold toxicity and yeast and cancer and all these kind of poisonings, they're from things coming from the environment. It's very real.
Right before you guys came in, like literally right before, we had the 2 founders of Force of Nature. Are you familiar with that? It's a regenerative farm out here, and they raise beef and all sorts. And we were talking about what's done to a lot of the plant-based crops and what people don't realize, and some of the stuff that's sprayed on our vegetable sources, and so a lot of times people think that they're getting a healthy product, and it's filled with a lot of the stuff you're talking about, and then you wonder why we're getting more and more sick.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the pharmaceuticals, and it's all of the non-native EMFs that are in the environment, that Wi-Fi and 5G, and they're changing our physiology. They're literally changing it. So
at the house with you, both of you, what does a typical diet look like? You don't have to get so specific, but what are the things that you actively work to incorporate in that you think would benefit people?
Lately, protein,
coffee. We love coffee.
Yeah, butter, heavy whipping cream in the coffee, grass-fed beef.
We love that. Animal protein, eggs.
When you say cruciferous vegetables, what kind?
Cruciferous vegetables are things like broccoli, kale, cauliflower. Mustard seed is a cruciferous vegetable. There's a bunch of them. You don't want to eat too many, but you want to introduce some of them. Lots of fruits. I'm a big fruit fan. Lots of Kelly is too. Lots of fruits.
You have mentioned EMF a lot in this episode. Do you guys do anything at your house or personally to combat EMF?
We do.
What do you do?
Kelly may not even notice because I just kind of snuck
in.
Light. No, there's a light. But yeah, so in our bedroom at night, we have a light that does not emit any blue light. That's the only light we will have on, because blue light is, again, from screens, from monitors, it's a problem, right? And so what happens is at nighttime, and it's fine during the day because sunlight, if you look at the rays of sun and the wavelengths, you're getting ultraviolet light, then blue light, the majority's red light or infrared light. And as the sun goes down, though, there's no more light, right? And you could make an argument that chronic disease comes from artificial light. Like literally, it parallels over. I mean, if you look at the data, early 1900s, the rates of cancer were so small, right? And now everyone's gone inside, and then we change how much light we're getting because no one's getting up with the sun. And then we're using all of this artificial light, and that blue light is toxic to us. It changes our hormones, it changes our nervous system. It causes a lot of problems. So we have a non-blue light in the house, in our bedroom. We have these things called, which I don't think I remember the name clearly, but it's EMF rocks that come in a bag that I put under our bed, which help to kind of ward off the non-native EMFs. We have shungite crystal on both of our bedstands.
I put those in my water and you make fun of me. Go on.
So it's things like that.
We put the red light on the phone to read at night.
We change our phones at night. So there's,
triple click.
The triple click. Yeah. And it's just doing things like that. Now, some people are really hardcore about it, and that's great. I think we have to be more moderate because it's a lot for people to take in, right?
I really want to kill switch. Have you heard of this?
Which is like everything in the house goes.
It's you press this kill switch. We had this guy. His name is Brian from Test My Home.
It's essentially just a switch that you can put in your bedroom so that when you go to bed at night, you can click it and it'll just turn the Wi-Fi.
So smart.
Yeah, it just turns the Wi-Fi off.
It
turns all the routers.
For my little tiny kids, I want a kill switch.
Because the thing is like it's a very simple tool, and you don't need, if you're going to bed, you don't need Wi-Fi. There's no reason.
There's no reason.
Yeah, and so,
I'm getting the name of that kill switch. I'll send you guys the link.
Awesome. I think it's super sensible. I don't think people appreciate how much we're being inundated with